What's up, my fellow nerds? This is Chris with D's Nerds, and today we're going to be looking at the Justice League teaser trailer. Alright, before we get started, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to the channel if you like what we're doing here at D's Nerds. Also, don't forget to ring that bell icon so you know when those videos are coming out. Alright, so today, some really cool news. They dropped the teaser trailer for Justice League, the Snyder Cut. So very excited. I'm not going to go into the whole backstory because if you're watching this video, you probably already have a pretty good idea of what all's gone down. But we get to see some new footage apparently, so I'm very excited to see that. Have not watched it yet. I was going to do a reaction here and also do a little discussion of where I think they might go or where they possibly could go. So let's get in and let's take a look at the new footage.
The bell's already been rung.
Okay.
And they've heard it.
Dark side.
Out in the dark, among the stars.
That's gotta be Lex Luthor talking.
Ding dong. The god is dead.
Oh, dude. There he is. Oh. Nice. That's very cool. So obviously, Wonder Woman's searching and finds, Darkseid's has been drawn on whatever that is. Looks like a shield or something of that nature. So that looks really cool. And then of course showing him in the backdrop looks like an apocalypse. That looks really awesome. So I am very excited for Zack Snyder's Justice League, or the Snyder Cut, as it has definitely been more well known as. Really am interested to see where this goes. I think the big questions I have, I know whenever I watched the theatrical cut, I did enjoy it, but it definitely felt like something was very hollow about the whole movie. And it did feel very rushed, and it did feel like there was so much more there. And of course, in the time since it was released, you learn just how much was on the cutting room floor. Zack Snyder said on his on the Man of Steel live stream that he did when he announced the Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cut, was coming out to HBO Max. He mentioned that about 25% of what he shot was in the theatrical cut. So you're looking at just a gargantuan amount of footage. It looks to me like it's just going to be a completely new movie, basically. So I guess my question is, where do we go from here? I'm very excited about it, and I have no doubt that I'm going to enjoy this film, because if I found things to enjoy about the theatrical version of Justice League, knowing that I do like Batman vs. Superman, I'll put the link to my 10 reasons why I love Batman v Superman. Love that movie, love Man of Steel. I clearly see I'm going to love Justice League, the Snyder Cut. However, I am curious. I can't help but wonder, where do we go from here? Let's say, okay, let's just hypothetical. It comes out, it's this big hit. Where does it go? Do we do 2 and 3? Do we do a Batman with Ben Affleck in that, where everything's just kind of relegated to HBO Max, and then Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson's Fillmore films is going to be just kind of in the movie realm? I'm not sure. I know I'm doing a lot of speculating. I'm only reading things that you're probably reading, but I also know this cut is coming out because Warner Brothers and HBO Max and AT&T think they're going to make a lot of money with this. So if it does come out and it exceeds everybody's expectations, even becomes this wild runaway hit, do you not think that they're going to try to go back to the well again and do it again? I believe they will at least try. They'll try to get Ben Affleck back to do his Batman movie, either broken up in a miniseries or something of that nature. They'll try to do Justice League 2. Probably keep Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman series and Jason Momoa's Aquaman series on the big screen, but these will kind of be existing on HBO Max. I have no doubt in my mind that that's what they're going to try to do. I know I'm looking way far ahead, and a lot has to come into play. First of all, does Ben Affleck even want to come back? I think that's actually probably the biggest hurdle to any of this coming down is, does he want it to come back? I don't know. That's a really good question. Everything that you read, and again, I could come up with a rumor tomorrow that the second Batman film that Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson are doing is going to be a crossover with Batfleck. I could come up with that if I wanted to. However, I can't help but think that if even a portion of what you heard about him when he exited was true, that he didn't get along with Jeff Johns, there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff that he just didn't like, especially after Zack Snyder had to leave the project, that he could be coaxed back to kind of be able to put his finishing touches on his interpretation of Batman. We'll just have to see. But it's all things that I'm very interested in, especially on the business side. You understanding that if Warner Brothers sees an opportunity to make a ton of money, they're not going to be concerned about having two Batmen at the same time. They're going to be concerned with making money. The other side is, do I think that you can have two live-action Batman going at the same time? Yeah, I do. It's essentially going to be the same situation that we would have had Justice League Mortal came out in, 2009, 2010, something like that. But it's going to be the same deal we would have had then. We're going to have two live-action Batman. I don't see a problem with that. If you're a Batman fan, you understand there's so many different interpretations of the character. And I think by keeping one on HBO Max and doing one for the live action, that's going to work really well. And by kind of having Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson's Batman be its own thing, it's going to allow them to explore Gotham more, I think. I think it's really hard live action you have to dedicate so many films. You want to explore Gotham and really build that out into its own character. But then if you want to introduce, metahumans and Superman, Wonder Woman, and, the Justice League, then there's also this whole other arc that's just this huge storyline. And I think the Timverse proved that by having Batman the Animated Series and then having Justice League. You almost have to do two different things. It's really hard to go from doing a Batman solo movie to a Justice League movie and have it all be connected, I think, in that world, because Gotham is such a character unto itself. So I think you can do a Robert Pattinson solo film and solo universe and really build out Gotham and the Rogues Gallery and really go deep with not just the Joker and the Riddler and the Penguin and Catwoman, but really go out into Clayface and the Mad Hatter and Scarface and the Ventriloquist. Really go into some really fun characters that exist in that world and really make Gotham its own character in addition to Batman and the rest of that crew. So, and then also on top of that, you have the Justice League stuff that you're telling as well. So kind of having those separate on HBO Max and the movie screen, I think it can be done. But again, I'm speculating at this point. I'm fanboying out a little bit on this. I've really, like I said, it probably should be known by looking at this channel that I'm a huge Batman fan. So knowing that just next year, assuming that things get back to normal, whatever that's going to look like after all this comes to pass, that we are actually going to have two live action Batmans out in the same year. And even though Justice League is not going to be on the big screen, it's basically going to be 75% of what Zack Snyder shot we have not seen. So we're basically getting a new movie. So we're going to be getting a new Justice League movie with Batman playing a huge role in it, and then we're going to be getting a solo Batman film. So as Batman fans, I think we should all be really excited. We're going to get to have our cake and eat it too. I can't help but think, though, what comes next. And I would love to hear your comments on this. Where are we going with this? Let's say, hypothetically, Justice League comes out. It's a huge hit. Does it just need to stay where it's at? Hey, we're going to let Zack Snyder finish this movie out and do his vision for it, and then we're done? Or, hey, you know what? If we have the opportunity, if Ben Affleck says, yes, I want to come back and finish my story on it, we want to do a Justice League 2, Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa are cool with it. Would you rather see that as well? Can you put up with having 2 live-action Batman out at the same time? Would love to hear your comments on it as well. Don't forget, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to the channel if you like what we're doing here at D's Nerds, and also ring that bell icon so you know when those videos are coming out. Also, don't forget we're on Facebook and Instagram, so please subscribe please follow those as well. We do content on that every day. So, hey, we appreciate you guys. And until next time, I'm Chris with D's Nerds, and you guys have a great, safe rest of the day. Bye.